Hello, guys. My name is Lucas Wilkes. This will be my first project presentation on instructional design models. Before I go into the models themselves, just a quick definition of instructional design itself. So it's just a systematic process of creating effective, engaging, and efficient learning experiences in a variety of settings, which we'll get to in just a moment. But what's so great about it is that it aligns learning goals, content, and assessment. So what we'll be really looking at in this presentation today are five different models: the Addy model, the Dick and Carey model, Merrill's first principles, Gagney's 9 events, and SAM, which is just the successive approximation model. All right, so first we're going to start with the Addy model. So to kind of talk about its origin, originally it was developed in the 1970s by the U.S. military for training design. It serves as a foundational framework for most instructional design processes. So there's some key components to it. The key components being analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. It is iterative and flexible, and each phase is really good at informing the next phase. So for its usage, it's widely used with a lot of corporate, academic, and online learning environments. It ensures systematic planning and continuous improvement. So, to kind of analyze it from a cognitivist point of view, it focuses on structured sequencing and learner understanding and works best at the course or curriculum level for comprehensive design. All right, so next we have the Dick and Carey model. So for its origin, it was developed by Walter Dick and Lou Carey in the 1970s. So what this emphasizes it emphasizes instruction as a system of interrelated components. So its key components, it has multiple steps from identifying goals to summative evaluation. And it's really good at focusing on measurable objectives and alignment between learning goals, instruction, and assessment itself. So for its usage, it's very ideal for designing detailed outcome-based instruction. You typically see it in more formal education settings and training programs as well. So to kind of analyze it from a behaviorist standpoint, it emphasizes observable outcomes and performance objectives. Um, at the instructional level, it is effective at the lesson or unit level for more structured learning sequences. So after that, we can go into the next instructional learning model, Merrill's first principles of instruction. And so where it kind of developed from, it was proposed by M. David Merrill in around 2002, and it synthesizes common elements across effective instructional theories. So it has a few key principles. Uh, Learning is promoted when learners are engaged in solving more real world problems. It uses an activation of prior knowledge to demonstrate the application of new knowledge. It's an application through practice and integrates into real world contexts as well. So, for its usage, really, it's effective for designing problem centered learning experiences, often found in higher education and professional training. So, from a constructivist analysis, learners build knowledge through authentic tasks. It works best at the lesson or concept level for applied learning. Okay, so second to last, we have Gagney's 9 events of instruction. This was developed by Robert Gagney in the 1960s based on the cognitive information processing theory. And it has 9 key components to gain attention of learners, to inform learners of objectives, to stimulate recall of prior learning, and then afterwards the to present content, provide guidance, elicit performance after that, provide feedback after that, assess performance, and then enhance retention. So a lot of steps there, but its ideal usage is is really great for lesson planning, especially if you're a teacher. So really ideal for lesson planning and structuring classroom or e-learning sessions. From a cognitivist analysis, it focuses on mental processes and sequencing of instruction, and it's best suited for lesson or unit design. Okay. And now, lastly, here we have SAM, which is just the successive approximation model for rapid e learning. It was created by Michael Allen as a response to how rigid ADDIE can be. So it's sort of an alternative for ADDIE. That's what it was really created for. So compared to ADDIE, SAM focuses more on agility, collaboration, and iterative design. It has a few key components. So those components being preparation, iterative design, iterative development, encouraging prototyping, and feedback loops. So this is commonly used in e-learning and corporate training where speed and flexibility are super essential. So this is really quite often used in the job world. And to kind of analyze it from a constructivist sort of a constructivist analysis. Learners and designers co-create experiences through iteration. At the instructional level, it works well with courses or modules for digital learning. All right, so almost done here. This will be my final slide. My application example. So I know there's a lot of people in this class that are in education, in that education sector, and I'm a teacher as well. So I decided to kind of do this a little bit differently. Instead, I wanted to use my recruiting background with one of these models. So here in this example, we have a corporate onboarding program, hiring program for new employees in a technology company. For this technology company, I decided that ADDIE would be a good model to use. So we're going to use the ADDIE model because for employee learning goals, ADDIE emphasizes that here employees must understand company culture, the tools that the company uses, and the compliance standards. So a company may have some compliance standards that they set forth that they need to train new employees on. The audience for this ADDIE model, of course, would be adult learners with diverse backgrounds. And then in context, it would include blended learning being like it would contain online modules and in person workshops. So, why ADDIE would specifically work in this case? Um, the analysis it ensures understanding of learner needs and job roles. ADDIE does a really good job with this in this case. The design and development phases would create structured, multimedia rich content whose implementation would allow for a much more kind of scalable delivery. Um, Evaluation would ensure continuous improvement through feedback and performance metrics. And then outcome would be consistent, measurable. They'd really be looking for a consistent, measurable onboarding experiences that reduces training time and improves the retention of employees themselves. Okay? So to sort of wrap up here, in conclusion, instructional design models, they all provide frameworks for effective learning experiences. Each model aligns differently with learning theories and instructional levels. So selecting the right model really depends on context, goals, and then, of course, most importantly, learners' needs. Thank you very much.